Okay, so in the spirit of JP's budget collecting, I've been watching Comic Tom's Hot List every single week, and then I watch JP also debunk that in a CBSI Hot List, and I decided, instead of just sitting back on the sidelines, I should try to give you a little bit of thoughts about how I think the books are going to be. So, you want to know? Stick around. Welcome back, family. Thank you for joining yet again. Okay, so I want to do a combination of a Remember Me and talk about the Hot 10 list that Comic Tom puts out every single week. And honestly, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Comic Tom. It's just personality, I think, just rubs me the wrong way. And what's kind of funny is I love Reggie Simmons from Reggie Collects, and he is now teamed up with Comic Tom on a lot of things. And I'm like, no! It's like watching your favorite Marvel character in a DC movie. So anyway, every week I watch that, and then I watch JP's Budget Collecting, and he has a lot of great shows. If you're not subscribed to him, you should be. And he talks about that in the CBSI Hot List. He combines them in 18, 19 books, and then he'll take a look back at 6 months later. So a lot of times I'm sitting back and I'm watching that hours after I watch Comic Tom. And I want to make my own video because I want to say, look, this is my feelings on what if it's a good book, if it's a bad book. I'm not going to get into the grading of the book like he does with Cash or Trash and all the different categories. I'm just going to give you my gut feeling. And also, I have a series which I do. It's called Remember Me, and I slack on that a lot. And this is going to force me to pick one Remember Me book at the end of the show. And this way, you'll get a book that was hot and then came down in price, and this is a better time to buy it. And I'll tell you why. So, getting on to number 10, we've got Godzilla number 1. Now, this Godzilla number 1 is in the news because there's a new show, live action series. It's going to be on some channel from some streaming service at some point. It's an option news and blah, blah, blah. And it's about kaiju, actually. It's not even about Godzilla itself. And, of course, it's live action, so it's fueling anything kaiju. And who's the first kaiju of all time? Godzilla. Guys, Godzilla goes up every time they make a movie, comes down every time it's out of the limelight. Right now, it's in the limelight. Do not buy this book, okay? Got Raws going for 65, a 9.8 going for 670. By the way, a 9.8 Godzilla number 1 has been on my radar for 2 years. I've never found that price. It comes down a little bit, it goes up. It comes down a little bit, it goes up. I'm waiting for one of those valleys. Right now, we're in a peak. Don't buy. You want to wait for it to come down a little bit. Give it 2 months. I'll try to put it on and Remember Me for you. Okay, coming in at number 9. Mary Jane and Black Cat Beyond number 1 and the 1 in 50 Adam Hughes. Now, wow, this one's tough. They say it's selling for 110. Once Comic Tom with his 50,000 subscribers says it's selling for 110, bang, it's selling for 140, 150. Normally, on one of these variants, I would say just let the hype die down. But man, the Black Cat Mary Jane ones always seem to hold their value. And I don't know, guys. This one you might want to get. 9 out of 10 of these variants that shoot up in price, I'm going to say to avoid like the plague. But there's those rare exceptions, and usually Black Cat and Mary Jane are at the head of the list, So I'm tempted to get one of these myself. I'm iffy. I'm iffy on this. This is not something I'm saying is definitely going to go up. Has a really good chance to. I don't know if it's going to come back down. But, if it goes up and you missed it, okay, you missed that one. You're not going to get every book that's good. Fantastic Four number 358. First appearance of the Power Scroll. Another speculation of a character. Can you say Mephisto? Ay. Okay, so Raws going for $15. 9.8s going for $350. Really? I'll take a high grade Raw for $15. And if I'm going to speculate, I'm not going to speculate on $350. And even if that character it's correct, after these shows go off the air, they come right back down again. I mean, how do you know they're not going to get the Power Scroll and it turns into Lamar Hoskins? Well, hey, nope, he's dead. Never mind. Instant or Carnage or any one of the other characters that we all speculated on and died. I don't think it's a good investment. If anything, pick up a Raw if you want to. A good high-grade Raw for 15. Splurge, go for 20. And then try to submit it and get a 9.8 yourself. But by the time CGC returns it, you'll already know what the series said. Coming in at number 7. Fresca. Reptile number 1. Now, this one... Raw is 15, 9.8, $90. Now, the Fantastic Four is Raw, 15, and 9.8 is $350. If I'm going to speculate on this one, I'm going to spend the money on the 9.8. Rather than trying to get spend $15 on a Raw and have it come back on 9.6 because somebody hiccuped while delivering a package. It's the first appearance of a character which has appeared in the Doctor Strange, the Strange Academy series, which is now going to be on hiatus, and you don't know if this character is going to be worth anything. Honestly, I just don't really put much credence in the Reptile book in the first place. Just the cover of it just looks, I don't know, something that would be published by Star Comics rather than Marvel. I don't think you can really go wrong that badly by buying a Reptile number 1 in a 9.8 for $90 again. Now that it's appeared on Comic Tom with its 50,000 person audience, everybody's going to try to buy it. It's going to drive it's going to spike the price. Wait a week or two, especially if there's going to be a hiatus with the Strange Academy. I'd actually wait about a month. That should come down a little bit. Thor number 1. Okay, sorry. Wow, Thor number 21. $10 Raw, and the 1 in 25 he said was selling for 70. Actually, I see it selling for like 80, 85, and if you factor in shipping on a lot of these things, it's 90. It's the Thor God of Hammers. Can you say Black Winter? Yes, I understand people were not really buying that many copies of them in the 1 in 25. Maybe 1 per store or 2 per store. Guys, there's 2,500 stores in the United States. That puts it up to 5,000 copies of this book in the 1 in 25. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I see this as another flash in the pan Thor book, like Black Winter. Now, yes, Black Winter died, but they're saying he might come back, but they don't know. I mean, does anybody really die in a comic? I mean, even if he didn't, would we still have the same interest? I mean, Throg. That's, anyway. Moon Knight number 3. First appearance of Dr. Emmett, and we think this from the trailer. Now, Raws are selling for $5. It's cover price. Go buy them. Who cares? It's fine. The 1 in 25. Now, he said that the 1 in 25 selling for $275, and 9.8 is selling for over $600. Yeah, no, I'm not buying $600 1 in 25 on a possible character just based on an animated crocodile picture on a flip phone for a split second in a trailer. I'm not spending $600 on that. I'm not spending $275 on a Raw. I'll buy 3 copies of number 3 for $5, but that's all I think that is really worth. Speaking of overpriced, number 4, Black Panther number 3. Another first appearance of another new character. Raws are selling for $12, and stores are already sold out of it. This just came out. 1 in 25. Now, Tom said he had to check, and it's going for $225, but he posted a picture showing it selling for $585. No. Again, with the same 1 in 25, 2 per store, 5,000 copies on a character that may turn out to be major, may not turn out to be major. Question is, will there be 5,000 people that want this book? I mean, right now, it's supply and demand. Right now, everybody's trying to get the hands on this book because they think it's going to go up in value. Not because they want it, but because they think it's going to go up in value. This is a big thing of FOMO on this one, and I would avoid this one. I would grab a copy at $12 of the Raw. That's fine. If you want to read it, wait for the second printing. But, yeah, no thank you. Pass. Swordmaster number 1 comes in at number 3. Now, this is a little more interesting. I don't know. See, Swordmaster number 1, they show on the new Iron Fist a logo on, looks like the belt buckle, that is exactly the same logo as the Swordmaster. So is the Swordmaster becoming the new Iron Fist? And my big question is, how many people actually read Iron Fist anymore? Okay, the series bombed on Netflix, and Netflix was nailing. I mean, Punisher, fantastic. Daredevil, very good. I like Punisher better than Daredevil. I like Daredevil, don't get me wrong, but I like Punisher better. Luke Cage, first season good, second season meh. Jessica Jones started weak, ended strong. Defenders, no. And Iron Fist, what were they thinking? This is another one of those characters that, like, the books have gone, the origin of Iron Fist, everything with Iron Fist has gone down, and we're trying to figure out who's going to be the new Iron Fist? Meh. I'll pass completely on that book. 9.8 selling for $200 for the Swordmaster #1. $18 for a Raw. You can have them. I don't want them. Sorry. Batgirl #1 from the New 52. Raw is going for 15. 9.8 is going for 150. All right. Two things about this. DC series never seem to hit well on TV. This one's getting enough hype and attention, and I think they've learned the lessons. I've got this gut feeling that they might actually do one right. I feel that they may do one right. I'm hoping this is going to be it. First off, the Black Girl 1 cover, I love it. It serves enough markets and gets enough different categories of people. I don't know how to say it politically correct. I'm sorry. It has enough audiences. How's that? That it should start very, very well. And if the storyline is good, which it has great potential to be, this could be a good series if it's done correctly. That being said, I think the 9.8 at 150 is worth it. I think the Raws at 15 are worth it if you can get a good high grade. I'm just reviewing this list. And as much as I am a Marvel fan, the one book that I think is the best bet on this list is a DC book. I think that Batgirl #1 from the New 52, a 9.8 for 150, I think the series may do well. And I think that we may actually be looking at that book going up in value. Hallelujah. Coming in at #1, Mouse #1, Survivor's Tale. It's a graphic novel. It's a compilation of 4 different stories which were inside other books. Selling for $15 because the Tennessee Board of Education, State Board of Education has blocked the book, outlawed the book. It can't be in the schools. Okay. First off, so this is something that's hot in the news. 3 months from now, will anybody care? I mean, seriously, is it going to be in the news, or are other states going to follow on this? Are other states' Board of Education is going to block the Mouse book because there's nude mice and nude cats? Really? No, absolutely not. This is, it's $15. It's not a new book. It's a great storyline, but it's only $15. So it's had years to go up in value and never has. And because the Tennessee Board of Education, no. Grab it for $15 if you want a good read. Don't buy this book if you're expecting it to be an investment. That's my 2 cents. So, okay, so I've told you what to go for and what to avoid from this week's list. In my opinion, I would love to know yours. But now, I'm going to throw out a Remember Me, a book that was on a little over, just about 6 months ago on the hot list. And I think will be on the hot list in another 6 months from now. And drum roll. The anticipation. Marvel Spotlight #2. First appearance of Werewolf by Night. Well, here we are at the end of January, and we know that we're getting a Werewolf by Night Halloween feature on Disney+. There's no, this is not the season for werewolves. This is not the season for Halloween specials. Nobody's really talking about this. This book has dropped quite a bit in value. Matter of fact, the picture that I'm showing, I should be showing it right about here. Here. That way. The picture that I'm showing right here. This book is actually from an auction that just ended 4 days ago on eBay. Went for $200. CGC 4s to 6 are going for 4 to 600. This is down a few $100 from 6 months ago. So, I mean, we're down about 30% on this book over the last few months. And when we get closer to Halloween, if you pick up a raw, you want to get one now and try to get it off for grading and get it back before Halloween. Don't send it in a CCS for pressing and cleaning. You'll never get it back in time. Press and clean yourself, outside service, your only two options. If you pick up a graded one or two, and that's great. But you're going to see previews for the Werewolf Halloween special, and that'll be a real key point when that trailer drops to sell a book that you would pick up now. So that's my Remember Me for this week, as the first appearance of Werewolf by Night. So guys, here's my inaugural look at the hot list. I'm hoping that I can do this and give my take, my feelings on these books and why, and still giving proper homage, whatever you want, however you pronounce it, to JP's Budget Collecting. I don't want them to think that I'm stealing his idea. It's just that I want to give an additional opinion. That's all. There's a lot of people that talk about the new comic book releases and which ones you should pick up and everything. And I just want my voice to also be heard while I'm still acknowledging credit to him and forcing myself to do a weekly show, which will get me to pick a Remember Me comic book. So, what did you think about my 10 books, my feeling on the 10 books that Comic Tom put on his list? What do you think about Marvel Spotlight? What other books would you like me to discuss? And don't forget that in just under 2 weeks, I will be on Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics for Slab Hub, which is 75 to 90 minutes of me. I've already got my books picked out. I'm not going to show you yet. Discussing 25 to 30 books in my collection, how I got them, why those particular books are important to me, and just basically answering questions and having fun, which is what comics is all about. Guys, thank you so much for joining yet again. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. I hope that you have liked the video. If not, let me know what it is that you'd like to see different. But until I see you next time, which will probably be on New Comic Book Day, mahalo.